a secret for you.
Okay, what is it?
There is no naughty list.
Hello and welcome to the Modern Romantic Podcast, where we celebrate and inspire romanticism through passionate people who do incredible things. Hi, I'm filled with Christmas cheer, Trey. And joining me as always is Emily, who is always filled with a spirit of wonder and whimsy, which makes
Yay.
up Christmas magic. Hi, Emily.
I love that. Thank you so much.
You're
Hello.
welcome. Also, you have a Christmas hat on.
I do. Once we get to November 1st, there are no rules. And so I want to dive right in and experience the joy for as long as I can. So I have my large Christmas hat that I made a couple years ago.
It's amazing.
It was intentionally a mashup of, it's inspired by a Game of Thrones Christmas photo shoot I did once. And it was like, we're doing Christmas, but we want Game of Thrones. And so it was like the fur kind of thing around the band, and then the same fur on the pom pom. And then I made it extra long because drama. And also, it holds a lot of little snacks and treats.
So you can take it off and just like snack on
Mm-hmm.
something and then put it back in. Oh, we used to do that when we had madrigal dinners, like with the people who had these big droopy sleeves. People would hide candy and stuff in there
Oh,
because we couldn't eat anything that was anachronistic. So people would just like sneak M&Ms out of their big poofy sleeves, and it was delightful.
because contrary to popular belief, M&Ms are not anachronistic.
How has your week been?
It has been, it's been good. How about yours?
Busy. Can I take just a moment to shout out my cast for a moment?
Yes, you should.
Okay, so for those of you who have been listening to fairly recent episodes, I have been a part of a production of Murder on the Orient Express here in theater here in Charlotte. Murder. I am so happy to say that for 2.5 weeks of our run, we have been completely sold out. Like every
Oh,
single night, including all of the weekday performances.
that's
So
amazing.
So, for those of you who are trying to get tickets for the show, you can still get on a wait list for them. And if any do come up for any last minute cancellations, then those go quickly. And it's usually like one or two. But I am so thrilled to be saying that people are enjoying it. People come up to us after the show and they're really having a blast. So, it's so nice to be part of a show that is this sold out this quickly. And it's
That's
amazing.
amazing. Yes.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So thank you to everyone who has come, who is coming, and will come. You are a blessing. Thank you for supporting local live theater. Um,
Hooray.
Yay! Oh, but I'm also excited to see people's reactions when they see this for the first time, because that
Mm-hmm.
gasp whenever like the person who did it is revealed. Ah, magic.
That's
You know,
wonderful.
You know who else has some magic with us?
Our guest.
Yes. Would you do us the honor and introduce our fantastic guest today?
I would. I'm so excited. Hailing all the way from the North Pole, we have author and magic maker Mrs. Carol Claus with us today.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi, Emily. Hi, Trey.
Hi,
I'm
Mrs. Claus.
so excited about
I'm
this.
so excited. First of all, let me say thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. I know you're entering the rush period, but thank you so much.
Of course. Oh, I wouldn't miss an opportunity to get to talk with other magic makers.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm
What a
not going to
great
make it
moment.
through this podcast. I have tissues ready.
Oh, Trey.
Mrs. Claus, it is such an honor to be able to talk to you. I think I have tried several times, but I've caught your husband more often. So for you, it is such a pleasure to finally be able to sit down and say hello and have a moment with you. First and foremost, I have to ask, how do you like, what beverage do you like, and how do you like it prepared?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Today, I have in my Slay All Day mug my gingerbread joy tea. So it's a black tea with ginger and gingerbread seasoning and flavors in
Mm.
it, which I really love. But I'm also very much a peppermint and hot cocoa girl.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite combinations.
Ooh, okay. Where do you get the hot cocoa from?
Well, we've got a whole group of elves that specialize in the chocolate treats at the North Pole. So I'll pop in and I'll get some cocoa when I'm on my way to get some chips for my chocolate chip cookies in the bakery.
Oh, how delightful. That must be such a delight. Like, your world must be so full of delight to be able to hop and skip through these places and enjoy all of these treats and wonderful things.
My world is full of wonderful treats and amazing people to share it with. I'm very lucky to get to share the life that I live with Santa and the reindeer and the elves.
Very
For
nice.
for those of you who only see you maybe once a year in stories and in movies, how would you describe your life at the North Pole?
Well, first of all, I love baking, but it is not all that I am and all that I do. Um, my official title at the North Pole, aside from being Mrs. Claus, partner to Santa, is CEO, Christmas Executive Officer. And that means that I'm in charge of taking care of all the things that Santa is not in charge of. Santa oversees the elves, he oversees the list, he keeps an eye on the toys, and his job is to keep an eye on the children. Everything else at the North Pole is me so that he can focus
Oh,
on his important job. And I'm our postmaster general, our reindeer trainer and caretaker. I run story time at the library. I help with mindfulness and resting breaks for the elves. Anything that we need doing, the two of us do together.
what a
Thank
team.
you. What a
Mhm.
team. Out of all of those duties, I feel I must ask, what is your favorite and why?
Oh, that's tricky. I think I'm really partial to working with the reindeer. They're the reason I'm at the North Pole in the first place. So the reindeer have always been a part of my North Pole story. Before I met Santa, I actually helped rescue one of his reindeer who had gone missing and had wandered off from the rest of her herd. And when I brought her back to the other reindeer, I realized I was hearing sleigh bells coming over the hill, and there was a sleigh and a little old driver, so lively and quick. And well, you know the rest. That's how I met Santa. And he was really surprised that I knew how to speak reindeer.
Oh,
And that's what got my
Hmm.
invitation to the North Pole. It's unusual for humans to speak reindeer.
I imagine. I've never even heard of the idea of being able to do such a thing.
Well, there are humans who are very good at speaking or communicating with other animals. Lots of times you see humans who are very good and have a special relationship with their pet, their dog, their cat, their bird. And it's like they get to have that conversation. It's the same thing. It's just harder to find reindeer throughout the whole rest of the world.
Truly.
Very
That makes
true.
sense.
Mhm.
Um, oh goodness. So with speaking to reindeer, I have to imagine that the conversations are quite lovely and quite lively. What are some things that you talk to the reindeer about?
Well, we certainly do story time. You would think that their favorite story would be Rudolph, but they felt a little guilty about how they treated him when he was small. So we don't really do the Rudolph story, but we like to tell stories about adventures in the woods and some of their animal friends up there at the North Pole. There are so many incredible Arctic creatures that live up near me. And I like to tell them stories about what's happening in the workshops and with the elves, or the newest thing I'm trying to bake for everybody. So it's a lot of fun for us. So we share stories back and forth. We talk every day.
Do you get for those things that you do, like taking care of the reindeer and baking? Do you get help from the elves for that, or do the elves are the elves more? Do they have help Santa more, or are they everywhere?
The elves are everywhere.
Okay.
Absolutely everywhere. We have 28,273 elves at the North Pole, and it's a lot. It's a lot of elves, and so there each elf has a specialty, an area that's their area of expertise. So some of them are baking elves. Some of them make toys that are specifically like flying toys or toys with wheels or
Okay.
toys that you hand wind to do things. Each elf has a different specialty. Some of them work in the post office sorting letters. Some of them work in the library. Some of them help teach new elves how to work together. But there are elves helping Santa and I all the time.
I imagine it's a big job, and you would need many elves to do.
It's a very big job. We're very grateful for all of our incredible elves and all the work they do to support what we do, which is helping make sure that every child feels a little joy, love, respect, and magic on Christmas morning.
And is Christmas morning, that's like the culmination of all your work throughout the year.
It is. We work all year for that one special flight on Christmas Eve, and all of us work together towards that goal. And that's a really powerful thing, working together as such a large team with one goal in mind.
So this time of year,
Mhm.
right around the beginning of November, what are some things you're working on to prep for that?
Oh, well, several different things. I have been particularly working with our reindeer on their flight path for this year.
Okay.
We like
Okay.
to make sure that we're keeping an eye on weather patterns, things happening that we can help kind of trim some time off, because every year there's more and more children. And so every
Sure.
year we have to make sure to be very mindful about how we travel through the earth. Um, we're also doing some of the like finalization of things from the letters that we get from the children. Now, Santa reads the list and checks it twice, but Santa's handwriting isn't quite as neat as mine is. So I'm writing the list based on the
Okay.
letters that come into the post office.
But he is checking it.
He checks it twice,
Good. Okay. So a nice checks and balances system.
of course.
When the letters come in, I've heard that there's a system of determining the kids that have been naughty and the kids that have been nice. How do you make that determination between when a child is naughty and when a child is nice for the year?
That's a really good question, and I have a secret for you.
Okay, what is it?
There is no naughty list.
Oh,
So, the secret about the North Pole is that all children are on the nice list, and we don't call it the perfect list, right? All we ask is that you try to do your best. Sometimes we can try a little harder, but that doesn't put us on a naughty list. We did something that we could have made a better choice. That doesn't reflect on us as people. That's the big secret about the North Pole. Everybody's nice list. Some of us just have a little bit more work to do on a couple of things. That's all.
That is really refreshing to hear.
I know children worry. They ask us all the time, am I on the naughty list? And you just smile and you say, do you know I love you? And do you know I'm proud of you? Are there some choices we could have made a little bit differently this year? Do you know what they were? Wonderful. The next time that choice comes up, do you think you can make a better choice? Perfect. Keep doing that. Keep doing that and keep
Oh,
making better choices as you go.
please somebody clip that. I'm gonna need that later at 30 years old.
All of you are children to weak clauses, no matter how tall or small you are. And so, Trey, if that's
Mhm.
something that you needed to hear today, I'm glad you heard it.
Thank you, Mrs. Claus.
Of course.
Magnanimous as always.
We try.
um, I'm going to agree with Emily and say that is so refreshing to hear. So, not only are you having mindfulness and restfulness, not only are you talking about sharing and caring with the reindeers, with the elves, um, it seems like you have a great balance for things. So, may I ask the question, what happens after that one day? Do you and Santa take vacation? And if so, for how long? And where do
Oh,
you
good
go?
question.
Oh, what wonderful questions. We do try and take a little bit of breathing room for everybody at the North Pole, from the elves through the reindeer to we Clauses.
Hmm.
Santa and I like to try and visit somewhere that has sun during the daytime
Okay.
in
Mm,
January, which doesn't happen for us at the North Pole until March. So it's nice to visit somewhere with day and night because we get 6 months of day and 6 months of night here at the pole. And it really depends. Sometimes we want to go exploring somewhere new. Sometimes there's a new town that somebody's helped put together and brought in lots of families. We like to kind of check out that town, make sure that everybody is getting along with one another, get a sense for that town, get that village, and also to make sure that we know how to navigate to it that following Christmas.
Ooh,
But
okay.
we change every year where we go to visit.
do you travel by sleigh?
Yes, but when we travel by sleigh and it's not Christmas Eve, we tend to land somewhere at a farm closest to the nearby airport. It's important to respect the air traffic controllers and that
Mm,
people are not expecting a sleigh with reindeer except for the one night a year.
that's true.
So we'll land and the reindeer will eat grass, which they don't really get a lot of at the North Pole. It's mostly moss and lichen and things like that. And they'll get to rest, they get to enjoy things, and we'll usually borrow a car to travel somewhere so it's not quite so obvious that we're coming to say hello.
I imagine if you were out and about in an average public space, people would come up to you constantly and be asking questions about naughty or nice and Christmas and all of the things. And I imagine that makes for not quite the same vacation if you were able to just be a little more anonymous.
When we're able to be anonymous, I think we see less of the worry and anxiety that people have because many of the questions they ask us are based in worry, right?
Mm,
Worry that they're not on the nice list, worry that we can't find their home, worry
yeah,
that what if they don't have a chimney? How does Santa get in? And we'll explain those things during the holiday season when they're ready to ask. But it's a little surprising to see us in April somewhere
sure.
in South America, right? It's a little surprising and startling.
I imagine that would be, yeah, I would be surprised.
Mhm.
Though it is quite interesting because I would imagine that Santa does like a tan every now and then, maybe even for a little while, just between now and then to get a nice little bit of sun before he heads back to uh, the North Pole.
Mhm. Well, Santa gets more sun than you think he does flying on Christmas Eve. Do you know how high he has to fly?
Oh, didn't think
Oh,
about that.
I did not think about that.
Mhm. So he's going to be around the sun and stardust his entire flight.
That sounds magical.
Mhm. It is. It is. Well, the sun is part of how Santa's able to do what he does. Oh, I don't know if you know this. Oh, something I
Okay.
get to share. So, some of the magic that we use to help get the reindeer up into the air and Santa flying high comes from the aurora borealis, from the northern lights.
Oh,
I
okay.
Mhm.
love that.
And the northern lights are made by particles of dust traveling from the sun all the way to the earth. It takes about 8 days for it to travel all of those millions and millions of miles. Well, if it takes only 8 days to go millions and millions of miles, how do you think Santa gets around the whole world in one night?
Oh, sure.
Northern Lights dust.
I'm sure that's a common question too, because
Mhm.
how would he visit everybody in one night? I've heard that question asked many times before with the speculation and doubt, but not this makes more sense.
Mhm. I collect Northern Lights dust. It goes into our reindeer food. It gets sprinkled on their antlers, and we help put a little bit on the sleigh as well.
That sounds tricky to collect.
Not as difficult as you would think. It happens to be one of my particular specialties in magic.
Hmm.
I'm able to pull Northern Lights dust out of the air and I collect. And once I've got enough collected, then I can then distribute it there with the reindeer and with the sleigh and make sure that everybody's good to go.
Do you ever go with him to deliver?
I have, but usually it's important that one of us Clauses is there at the North Pole because, again, we have all of those elves and all
Sure.
those reindeer who aren't part of the flight team. So typically, if I'm flying on Christmas Eve, it's because Santa needs backup and I'm the one in the air and not him.
Okay. Backup. I can't even imagine a reason to need backup. But
He broke his leg one year
oh,
and he
oh,
couldn't get
okay,
in and out of the chimneys quickly, and I could.
okay.
Ooh.
But I'll point out nobody's ever caught me delivering gifts.
Oh, I will let you make that joke. I do not want the ire of Santa.
Oh, he understands. I am slimmer and quicker and taller, so I can reach some of the higher things.
That's fair.
Mhm.
Well, I do not wish to tell you your age, but I will say it in this way. You have seen many Christmases come and go. How have you noticed that the spirit of giving and togetherness evolve over time?
Oh, that's very interesting. So the first time I show up in any stories, this will give you an idea of about how old I am. The first time I show up in any stories where you are in the United States is 1854.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
It's the first time that I'm mentioned, and I don't get mentioned by name. I'm just the wife of St. Nicholas. It's all right. I get a name later, about 5, 6 years. Now, I've noticed that the way that we work with our idea of giving, we often think about giving as an object, a gift, something that can be unwrapped. But there are things that I want us to remember that we can also be giving with our time, our attention, our listening, our compassion, our kindness. That kind of giving is really unique and something that we see more of at the holiday season than we do the rest of the year. And I would love to see us do more of that throughout the year. But we often think about the things that we can untie a bow and lift a lid off of a box.
That's true. When you think gift, you think wrapped.
Hmm. Hmm. But when you think about time, when you give of your time, that is the greatest gift a clause has. That's why right now is called the present. And being present for somebody is the greatest gift you can give.
Well said.
Very well. Emily, if I can turn that question to you, I'm going to say what is the best gift that you have had that was did not come in a box?
Well, I don't know if I can choose the best one.
Okay.
I can choose a one.
Okay.
Um, this podcast is one.
Mhm.
Yeah. I get so much from this every single week. And even when I'm not feeling it, it's always something that I feel good that we did anyway. So, yeah, I would say this is by far one of the better ones. How about you?
Um Ooh, okay. So I don't want to copy and say this podcast, so I'm going to say the time that I got to see in person a production of Sunday in the Park with George, and I got to hear the Act One finale of Sunday sung by actors in a theater live and in person.
Oh,
That
Ooh.
that was the most stunning thing, and I sat there and I just wept, and it was the greatest gift. It was
Mhm,
amazing.
mhm. Oh, those are good answers, my friends. Those are lovely.
Thank
Do
you.
you do you know I ask Santa for the same gift every year?
And what is that?
So, part of the reason that I train the reindeer is because I ask for the gift that Santa returns safely home to me on Christmas morning. And if the reindeer are well trained, whatever they face out in the world south of the pole, they can bring him back home.
Oh.
It's important to help guide him. In fact,
Hmm.
actually, I'm wearing my ring from Santa now, and I know it doesn't look very fancy or very special, but Santa carved it from the shed reindeer antler of the reindeer that I rescued and brought back to him. And in it, he's carved 3 stars that are the stars of Orion's belt, which is visible in the northern hemisphere and is his guide to getting home.
Oh.
So, a little reminder of reindeer and Orion to get back to me. And that's all I ever ask.
How sweet.
Goodness.
That's wonderful. Do you typically give each other gifts at Christmas?
We do. One of the gifts that we give one another is time, because before Christmas, there is not a lot of free time. We do always try and make time for one another. We
Mhm.
always make time for a date night or a movie night or having a meal together. But we give each other time, and that's part of why that break we take after the holiday is so important. That's the big gift we want to give each other. But do you know how difficult it is to surprise Santa with a gift? I have the hardest job in the world. It's giving Santa a Christmas present.
I imagine.
It's very tricky.
I'm curious, have you ever written him a letter like the many that he receives?
I write him letters and I sneak them into the bag of letters that he's reviewing,
Oh, cute.
Yes.
I love that. How wonderful.
which is lovely because it does 2 things. One, it tells my sweet Santa just how much I love him. And two, it tells the Postmaster General how far he's gotten on his to do list.
Mrs. Claus, you are such an incredible woman. That beautiful. Um, I I want to ask,
Hmm.
you and Santa work together to give so many kids around the world a gift. What is something that you would ask for or that you would want from kids?
For myself or for the world?
Mm.
Oh, yes.
um, for myself, I want to see you to continue to extend kindness and patience with the people that you share a home with and the people in your day to day world. We don't always know what everybody is going through, and we can't always know. Sometimes people don't share or they don't feel comfortable sharing. So, a little extra patience and a little extra kindness is what I ask of the children for myself. And for the world, I want you to help remind the tall people in your life to do the same thing. Just because they're so old that they don't want to write a letter to Santa and I doesn't mean that they couldn't use a little Christmas magic. Help remind them of who they were when they were writing letters, and help remind them of the kindness and joy that you're sharing, and set a good example for them. Tall people need reminding.
That I agree.
There
Right,
was
Trey?
a
You're tall.
I, I'm extremely tall, but what I can say is that here in Charlotte, there was actually a Christmas lights festival that's about a mile away from me. And they actually had a station set up for anyone to write a letter to Santa. And they actually had a mailbox where you could mail it. And I had thought at one point, oh, I'm too tall for this. I'm too so my ex drug me into this place and we both wrote a letter to Santa. We
Oh.
stamped it and then we sent it at the same time.
Hmm.
And I got exactly what I asked for.
Trey, how did that feel to get to write a letter again? How did that feel?
Wondrous.
Right?
It was like getting a gift of whimsy again, and
Whimsy
that's
is often missing when we get taller. Mhm.
the onions are strong. Excuse me.
No, the gift of whimsy is very important, Trey. And I think sometimes we don't remember, but when we're little, right? When we're little, when we're not quite as tall, and we're writing letters to the North Pole, we're writing about our deepest, most secret wishes. That's an important job. Santa and I are the keeper of wishes and dreams. When we get older, we forget to dream and to wish. So, writing a letter, it's a good exercise. Even if you don't mail it, it's a very good exercise to actually reach down and ask that child you have inside you, what do you wish for? What do you really want? And then, how do you work towards it so we can help meet you halfway?
Hmm.
I have a letter to write then.
Write a letter. We would love to see it. We would love to see it. Any mailbox, anywhere where you are, knows exactly how to get that letter to the North Pole.
I was about to ask that. Is I'm
Mhm.
sure that you said earlier, you get questions based on worry, and I wondered if maybe those are some things we could ask today to maybe settle some minds out there and give people
Sure.
some hope and put their worries at ease so they don't have to think about those things so much. One thing was, uh, what if they don't get the letter? How do I know that that's gonna get to Santa?
So we get all of the letters sent even as late as Christmas Eve. We get all of them. So, what we tell children who haven't yet decided what they wish and dream for this year, that if they write the letter and they hand it to their tall person, tall people know where the nearest mailbox is and know how to get that to the North Pole quickly. So you hand that letter to your tall person and they'll make sure it gets to us.
So that doesn't have to be a worry now.
No, it
Mm-mm.
doesn't have to be a worry. Part of the joy is actually writing that letter down. What is it they say about my sweet Santa? He sees you when you're sleeping. He knows when you're awake. You don't think he knows that you've written a letter and knows what you put on it, even if it doesn't get mailed?
Hmm.
Write it down. Santa will know.
Beautiful. There was another worry you brought up, and now I don't remember what it was. Maybe you can refresh my memory. What's something else that people worry about that you could answer tonight that's
Well, the naughty and nice list,
correct? Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And that's certainly a worry. Um, there's a worry that Santa can't deliver to them if
Oh, right.
they're not at
Yeah.
home, or if their home doesn't have a chimney, or where they are for Christmas doesn't have a chimney. No worry about that. Santa always knows where you are if you've traveled, because believe me, Santa loves travel too. He's always very curious about everybody's travel plans. But about getting into a home without a chimney, do you know Santa has a magic key?
Oh,
Oh, I did
Oh,
not.
Santa and I each have a magic key. Now, Santa's magic key has to charge up magic all year round, charges all year, and works one night of the year.
hmm.
Santa's key lets him into any home that he is welcome on Christmas Eve. He just has to tap that key to the door. He can deliver gifts and tap it back to keep everything locked and safe. That's his magic key.
Okay, that makes sense. And then the other question that I just remembered was, what if I don't have a chimney?
If you don't have a chimney, Santa can enter through the door with that
Oh,
magic key he's charged. Isn't that wonderful?
it really is. I'm sure most houses have doors, so if you don't have a chimney, there are other ways in and out.
There are other ways that Santa can get in, but only on that one night. He delivers gifts that one night.
If you are if he breaks his leg and you deliver for him, do you, if someone leaves milk and cookies out for him, do you take them back out to him?
Santa and I both save cookies for each other, no matter who's delivering gifts. We are a cookie enthusiastic home. And if you're
As expected.
right, we are a cookie enthusiastic home. When Santa is out delivering, he brings home cookies to me because I'm always looking for new recipes to try at the North Pole.
Mm.
And
Ooh,
I like trying cookies from all over the world to find recipes that I haven't tried yet or I haven't tried in many, many years. When Santa's at home, he gets sad if I get all of the cookies. So I make sure to bring him home cookies and tell him where I got them and which ones were homemade and which ones were purchased. Oh, you should probably know that too. Santa's favorite cookie is round.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah, it's round. And if your cookies are a shape, he's going to nibble around the outside until it's round. And then it's his favorite cookie.
oh, easy.
That
Easy. My two favorite
beautiful.
cookies are store bought and homemade.
That's
All cookies are
wonderful.
good cookies,
That about covers it. Yeah.
right? All cookies are good cookies. And we often ask, because children ask us what to make, we ask what their favorite cookie is because we want to try it. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
put out your favorite cookie because we want to
Mm,
try it.
okay.
Of course.
What
And then if
cookies am I
there's
gonna
extra,
do?
then you get some of your favorite cookie too, and they do. Everybody gets
Isn't it
a
wonderful?
favorite cookie. That is wonderful.
I do have to ask if they want to make something for the reindeers. What can they make?
Oh.
So our reindeer really love carrots and they really love apples, and those are special treats for them.
Okay.
So if you want to leave a little carrot, if you want to leave apple slice or a whole apple, our reindeer will gobble those up whole. Um, they love carrots and apples because at the North Pole, what they get is moss and lichen and a little bit of northern lights dust. When they're down here and they're south, right where you are, they
Hmm.
eat grasses and things like that. But things like apples and carrots are part of what we use to help encourage them during training. So they're a
Okay.
special treat.
Special treats, apples and
Mhm.
carrots.
Mhm.
Good to know.
Yes. Um, Mrs. Claus, we do want to talk about your book, but I hear that you are a fan of carols.
I
Uh,
am a fan of carols.
Yes.
may I ask, what is your favorite carol?
Oh, that's a great question, Trey. I love them all.
Okay.
Let's see here. Hmm. Do you know Silver Bells?
Oh my goodness. I haven't sung that in
You haven't
for
sung that in a long time.
It's
no.
Christmas time
I
in the city.
I
Yeah.
ask because I keep silver bells on my belt for reindeer training.
Oh,
So I
sure.
asked.
Well, one moment. Let me look at the it has been a minute,
All
but if
right.
you will indulge me, I will
I
do my
certainly would
best.
love to.
Oh,
Yes, please, Trey.
sure. I'm going to back up from the mic so I don't overblow this. Let's see. Okay. Silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring a ling, hear them sing. Soon it will be Christmas Day. And that is about as much
Oh,
as I remember.
Trey, that was
Mrs. Claus.
lovely.
Thank
Oh,
you.
yay. Oh, that's wonderful.
Do you play primarily Christmas music at the North Pole?
Oh, of course we do. We
Okay.
love Christmas music, both some of the older traditional hymns and carols and some of the more modern songs.
And new songs come out every year. Do you have your finger on the pulse of the new Christmas music that comes out every year?
We do, because we know we're going to hear it. as we're
Right.
preparing and as we're traveling, and the elves are trying them out. And the elves usually sing along in multi part harmony, which is really delightful. I end up singing along as well, but my voice isn't as high as the elves. So I always end up singing the alto part. They're
Just as
all
good practice.
sopranos, all of them.
I imagine they are.
There's a couple of tenors in there, but they're almost all sopranos. But no, there was a song that came out just a few years ago. Um, and I was sort of delighted because most of the songs about we clauses is just about Santa.
Mm-hmm.
A song came out that was just about me.
Oh,
I was
Oh,
very surprised. So I wanted to just say, if they're listening, thank you to Ariana Grande, right? And to Idina Menzel for
hmm,
writing A Hand for Mrs. Claus and singing it together as a duet.
wonderful.
Mhm.
I hope they are listening so they can
I do too,
receive that
because
message.
for the longest time, the only song about me was the one that Nat King Cole did, Mrs. Santa Claus.
And that's been a little while.
It's been a while. But no, there have been some really lovely songs coming out. So Santa and I enjoy all of them.
I imagine. Something that we humans and tall people do many times is attend Christmas concerts. So I wondered if
Mhm.
that was something you enjoyed as well.
Oh, we love Christmas concert. Oh my goodness. Now, Santa loves listening at the Christmas concerts. The elves and I like singing along at the Christmas concerts. Santa just wants to applaud for all of us. He's very supportive.
so nice.
That's wonderful to hear.
I do have to ask, are there any fun stories that you can share about going to see some of these concerts? Did anyone have a rogue solo or anything of that nature?
Well, anytime there are elves, mischief is afoot. They are all full of mischief. So sometimes they'll start a particular song and it's lovely and harmonic and multiple parts. And then all of the sudden they'll change to something more modern and a little bit more rock and roll or a little bit more playful. And they like to surprise Santa and see if they can get him to make his eyes go really big. It's hard to surprise Santa, as we talked about earlier.
I
So the elves
imagine.
like the challenge.
That does lead me to, because I believe in your book, which I would like to segue to,
Yes.
they're not the only ones that are full of a little bit of mischief. I hear that you two are just a touch, just
Just
a
a
touch,
little,
but
just a
also
little.
very much full of love. Um, we heard that two lovely individuals interviewed you for a new book. Can you tell us the title of this incredible new book?
Absolutely. So my friends Pamela McCall and Lindsay Stewart interviewed me for a book that's called What Would Mrs. Claus Do? Where there is a wish, there is a way.
What a great title.
Yes.
Well, how was that experience?
It was really lovely. You know, the first interview with Santa that I recall being written, actually, Margaret Mead interviewed him. Her daughters had lots of questions, so Margaret reached out to Santa and asked if she could interview him. And that's called an interview with Santa Claus. And he's been interviewed a lot over the years. And Pamela and Lindsay were realizing that Santa's part of a team, and all of us at the North Pole help contribute to Christmas. And realize that while everybody knows who I am, they don't know as much about me as they know about Santa. So they thought it might be a nice opportunity to get to ask some questions.
Of course.
I don't want to give too much away, but
Mhm.
what are some question, or what is a question from the book that our listeners can expect to see in this?
There are lots of questions, including, you know, Christmas sort of feels like a lot for me this year. And I don't know that if I want to do the big Christmas like I usually do. Is it okay? And of course it is. There's this lovely concept called hygge, and hygge means soft, small, cozy. And so a hygge Christmas is cozy blankets, your favorite warm beverage, something low key, maybe inviting a friend over. right? Something gentle and soft. And so you don't have to go all out every year. Think about the things that are most important to you that make your Christmas feel like Christmas, not what other people expect of you, what you want, and make sure that you do the things that give your Christmas what it needs. I like writing Christmas cards. I want my Christmas to have Christmas cards in it. But that doesn't mean that that's for everybody.
I love this concept
Mhm.
because it doesn't mean you have to have a tree or lights. You could just
No.
light a candle.
Mhm.
You could just have a simple meal instead of a whole spread.
Mhm.
My family has started to kind of adopt that concept. It's
Mhm.
only 3 of us at this point.
Mhm.
Um, so we've pared down from doing such a huge spread to, I think now we do, a sausage cheese dip that my mom
Ooh.
makes every year, some sausage balls,
Mhm.
and I think some chips, and we keep it like that for Christmas Eve, and then when we wake
Lovely.
up, Christmas Day is typically something simple.
Mhm.
Last year, I do not want to see anything in the comments about this. We wanted super simple. We had hot dogs, and it was
That's lovely.
marvelous.
That's lovely. Because the thing about Christmas is it's the togetherness, it's the feeling connected that makes it important. So it doesn't matter what you're having. If the people you want to have in your Christmas day are in your Christmas day, then that's all you need. So I'm all for hot dogs for Christmas. I think that's a lovely idea.
And cholesterol does not exist on Christmas.
No, 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 no. Christmas is a day of forgiveness and kindness to yourself as well. Mhm.
Yeah. When putting this book together, I
Mhm.
know that in an interview, it can be a lot of great stories and a lot of things to compile together. How did you work with the authors to find the right balance between what to include and maybe what to trim?
Oh, that's a great question. We had several really long, lovely conversations, just as we're having tonight. And they asked questions, and then it sometimes I would give an answer and it would lead to another question. And they'd say,
Mhm.
let me, I don't want to lose where we are. I'm going to write this question down. And then Mrs. Claus, I want to come back to that. And we would come back to it. But we talked for hours and hours, just getting to know one another well. It was lovely to see both of them all grown up. I remember when they were very small. So it was nice to get to just spend time together, which is what the holiday's all about anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The whole back to the whole time is a gift
Mhm.
thing. We have one message in our chat from Carrie Burnett that says, Mrs. Claus, hi.
Hi, Carrie. Thank you for joining us today. Oh, it's always nice to hear familiar names and faces. You know, Carrie, I was just working on the nice list. Pretty sure I saw your name on there, but Santa has to still check it twice. So wait a little closer to the holiday, but we should be good to go.
So back to your book. This I wanted to tell you how excited I was to get my copy. It is I have it right here. I was so excited to open the box and get it. And one thing that struck me when I was just flipping through it the first time I opened it was the beautiful photography in here. You have the most amazing photos in here of you and the reindeer and so all kinds of different photos of you doing different things at the North Pole. Here's the reindeer photo I was looking for. And I
Oh,
just
yes,
love that
that's me in
about
the
this.
stables. That's me in my pants. A lot of
Right.
people a lot of people when they get an image of me in their head, imagine me with my hair pulled back in a bun, maybe in like a little mob cap, and an apron. I wear that sometimes, but I have so many different looks that I do, and I certainly am not going to go and clean out stables in a long dress and heels.
Oh,
Those are
yeah.
my pants I wear in the stables.
Of course. Of course, what one would think that Mrs. Claus would have some sensibility.
Oh, very much so.
Here's another
Don't get
one.
me wrong, always fashionable. I do like a fun outfit, and I particularly like a fun pair of shoes. And that's what's been rather interesting. I learned while at the North Pole, we all have fun shoes. Not everybody south of the pole has fun shoes, but all of the children do.
Oh, yeah.
All of the children do. And so they meet Santa and I, and they know that we're old, but we have fun shoes on. So we're at least old and fun, which is a good thing to know about.
And I think that's important for part of that keeping that whimsy alive.
Mhm, mhm. Absolutely. I have shoes that have snowman shaped heels. All of my shoes have fun sparkles on them. And often, when I have a child who's a little nervous to meet Santa, I'll go and meet them and I'll show them my shoes and compare my shoes to their shoes. And then maybe, just maybe, those shoes are fun for twirling or jumping. And could you show me? And now, do you think maybe you could show Santa your fun twirly or jumpy shoes? And sometimes that Goldilocks zone of I don't want to be any closer, but I don't want to be any farther gets a little shorter.
Mm, I
Fun shoes
imagine it
are a
would.
wonderful way of connecting with children.
We have a comment in our chat from Josh who says, "My favorite shoes are good for jumping in puddles."
Oh, puddle jumping shoes are delightful. I definitely have puddle jumping shoes.
I imagine you would.
Do you have a particular favorite pair, like when you're feeling extra magical, that you would love to put on?
Ooh, that's a good question. I have so many fun pairs of shoes. You see, elves are very, very good at three particular areas. They're very good at making toys, which everybody knows,
Mhm.
making cookies, which not everybody remembers, and making shoes, which is their oldest skill set. That
Mm,
is the longest running profession of the elves. The stories of the elves and the shoemaker, they've been doing that a very long time. So they
I
give me
remember
fun
those.
and whimsical shoes. Choosing a favorite pair is really hard because I also very much love each individual elf who makes my pair of shoes. And so picking just one wouldn't be as thoughtful to the others who help make sure that my feet look super fun and fabulous.
You're right. My apologies, but still,
Maybe it's like the cookie thing where your favorite pair of shoes just happens to be the ones you're wearing right
The
now.
ones you're wearing right now. Absolutely.
There's one picture in the book that I wanted to show, and that is you mentioned at the beginning of this episode that you were delving into baking and doing a lot of that. And there's a picture of you stirring a, I believe this would be you baking.
I am.
And you have in here Mrs. Claus's vanilla sugar cookie recipe.
They are my favorite go to cookie because while I like baking, I love decorating.
Oh, sure.
And a vanilla
yes.
sugar cookie is a nice, simple base to do anything you want. A vanilla sugar cookie is the beginning, it's a blank slate for an adventure in some tasty art. So I love a vanilla sugar cookie. And that's sort of what I've known for at the pole. If I'm not sure, I'm going to make vanilla sugar cookies.
And then you can decorate them however you like.
Absolutely. I like a royal icing on mine, but a buttercream works really lovely. Sometimes Santa just spreads a little Nutella on my sugar cookies, right? We keep it nice and simple. It's whatever
Hmm.
makes us happy.
That's right.
Mm.
Oh,
And
Trey,
there's
you hadn't thought about that, had you?
no, honestly,
Nutella and a sugar cookie.
and now it makes me
Mhm.
want to make like a sandwich out of it. Just put it between two cookies and
Mm.
enjoy it like that.
I can recommend that with some apple butter.
Ooh, apple butter's a lovely idea too.
Hmm.
Because Trey, the only thing better than one cookie is two cookies.
Mm.
That's, I believe Cookie Monster would agree.
Oh, Cookie Monster's such a sweetheart.
Yes, he is.
Mrs. Claus, In earlier in our podcast, you had talked about finding maybe those quiet moments. If the big Christmas is not your thing, or you just don't feel like doing that, you kind of keep it small. Could you share one of your favorite small traditions, something that brings you peace amid all of the holiday bustle?
I love reading more than anything. And all I need is my favorite book, which is whichever one I'm reading right now, and a fire in the fireplace,
Mhm.
and a hot cocoa or a nice hot tea, and my favorite blanket, and some cozy socks. That is one of my favorite things. And I'll go through and read things. If I don't know what I feel like reading, I'm going to grab Charles Dickens.
Mm,
I always
Mm.
reread A Christmas Carol during the holiday season.
a good practice. Hmm.
It's
Mm.
just wonderful. But I also like to read all of the new storybooks that come out for children because the more storybooks I know, the more I can make sure that the North Pole Library has excellent stories for sharing with everybody who lives at the pole with us. The elves love children's books, love them.
Okay, that's good to know.
Hmm.
Hmm. Okay, I have ideas for the elves. Don't let them see this part.
I won't.
Thank you. Um, Mrs. Claus, I I want to keep asking you a million and one questions, but I know your time is incredibly valuable, so I will pare it down to two final questions for you.
All right.
The first one, our listening audience, I'm sure, would love to keep in touch with you and stay up to date with what you are doing. Do you have any social media or something that they can stay in touch with you?
I do. If you are like me and have been on Instagram for a very long time and Facebook for even longer, you can certainly find me both of those places. On Facebook, you may find me at Mrs. Carol Claus NC. Since you're in North Carolina, Trey, I thought that would be easy to remember. And if you find me on Instagram, it's at Mrs. Carol Claus, or you can certainly find my website. That's mrscarolclaus.com.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Of
Um,
course.
my second question, which has
Hmm.
nothing to do with anything we've talked about thus far, um, you are sitting down to have lunch with anyone in the world, be it alive or not alive, because we may have some children listening to this podcast. Who is sitting on the opposite side of that table from you?
I think
Mhm.
it's St. Nicholas. He's where all of this gift giving started. And I want to know what it was like in Myra as he was ministering to people and finding ways to sneak dowries to young women who didn't have one. And it was hard for them to be able to move forward in their lives. I want to know about St. Nicholas. So I would definitely sit down and have a lunch with St. Nicholas.
That is a wonderful answer. Thank you so
Of
much.
course.
I have one question too. I know we said
Okay.
just two more, but
Oh, I'll answer any questions.
okay. I want to make sure our audience knows where to buy your book.
Thank you.
At
Yes.
the book that you were interviewed in. So I got mine from Amazon.
Mhm.
Are there any other places that you know this can be found?
Absolutely. It is available anywhere books are sold online.
Okay.
And for people who are local to Trey, Park Road Books is carrying the book
Oh,
because
excellent.
independent bookstores are very important to love on
Mhm.
and support.
Absolutely, we agree with that.
And I also know several libraries are carrying the book. And if your library doesn't have it, ask your library. I know they can get it in for you.
And in case you're wondering, it is called What Would Mrs. Claus Do? Where There Is a Wish, There Is a Way by Pamela McCall and Lindsay Stewart. So go
Mrs.
look that
Claus,
up.
yes. Mrs. Claus,
Mhm.
from the Modern Romantic podcast to you, I have to say thank you so much for joining us today. And thank you for being as effervescent as you always are.
Well, I've got that little bit of mischief in me too, but also I'm I'm just the biggest child at the North Pole. That's all there is to it, and the tallest, unless Buddy is visiting. The elves have called me the elf who can reach the shelf because they can't reach those things, and so they'll ask me. But
That is wonderful.
just the tallest child at the North Pole.
It's amazing. Ah, please go support Mrs. Claus. Please leave out cookies. Again, her favorite cookies are store-bought and homemade.
Yep, whatever your
Uh,
favorite cookie is.
whatever your favorite cookie, and leave out the recipe because she may need the recipe just in case she hasn't had it. So leave those. But as we close this episode out, we want to thank you so much for tuning in today. This episode, along with more, can be found on our website at themodrom.com or wherever you are tuning into your favorite podcasts. You can support us on Patreon. Search for The Modrom on Patreon. But more than anything, please just do yourself a favor and go read this book. It's incredible. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.